Buenas and Hafaday, the Committee on Rules is hereby called to order. The time now is 9:16 and the date is November 22nd, Tuesday. Hafaday, thank you very much to my colleagues for being here this morning. Yes, thanks. And we'll have our Committee on Rules Director, Ms. Mary Maravilla, take the roll call.
Chairperson Vice Speaker Barnes. Vice Chair Legislative Secretary Shelton.
Buenas, Hafaday.
Speaker Terlahi. Senator Nelson. Senator San Augustine. Senator Rigel. Senator Terlahi. Senator Perez. Senator Blas. Senator Torres. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Assiduous Masi, Director Maravilla. Does the chair hear a motion to excuse members not present for today's meeting?
I'll move.
Thank you. Moved by Speaker Terlahi and seconded by Senator San Augustine to excuse members not present. Are there any objections? Motion carries. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the core meeting minutes from October 12th, 2022? This document can be found in the Google Drive folder and is titled 01 Meeting Minutes. Moved by Senator San Augustine. Okay, and seconded by Senator Perez, subject to correction. Do I hear any objections? Hearing no objections, motion carries. The first item of business for our core agenda today is an update on document tracking. I'll now provide a report, and this report can be found in our Google Drive titled 02 Legislative Secretary's Report. The report is as follows. Appointments by the governor. There are 130 appointments submitted by Governor Lou Leon Guerrero to date. One appointment confirmed during the February 2021 session. 14 confirmed during the March session, 8 confirmed during the April session, 7 during the May session, 7 during the July session, 13 during the August session, 10 during the September session, 3 during the October session, 12 during the December session, 10 during the January 2022 session, 8 during the February session, 1 during the March session, 2 in April, 2 in May, 0 in June, 0 in July, 5 appointments confirmed in August 2022, 4 confirmed in September, and 4 confirmed during our October 2022 session, with a total of 111 appointments confirmed. Of the remaining 19 appointments, there are some pending confirmation, 4 have been withdrawn, and 4 have extended beyond the authorized 90-day term limit. There are 27 zone change requests at this time, and 15 rules and regulations requests. Bills have been introduced, 4 are now law, and 2 are approved by default. Assiduous Masi colleagues. Next item of business is the ratification of referrals. The referrals of bills and appointments are indicated in each of the corresponding logs, which can be found in the Google Drive folder for this meeting titled 03 Legislative Item Log. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referral of bill numbers 343-36 through 363-36?
Madam Chair.
Speaker, you are recognized.
Yes, I would just like to put on the record that I did write a letter to the Committee on Rules on November 1 asking the referral of Bill 353 be corrected and referred to Committee on Health. The bill proposes to add members from the medical community to the Healthcare Center Committee, which is responsible for the proposed medical healthcare campus that is meant to house the Guam Memorial Hospital, the Department of Public Health and Social Services, and the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, all agencies under the oversight of the Committee on Health. It does not have an appropriation attached to it, nor does it have to do with the general government operations. The bill is clearly within the jurisdiction and best analyzed by the Committee on Health, who has oversight over all of the healthcare agencies, as defined in 12 GC 83102E, which is the same subsection that the bill is amending. So I just wanted to put that on the record, that I did write a letter requesting that re-referral.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Can you repeat the bill number?
353-36.
Okay, thank you. It has been noted. Is there a motion to ratify the referrals of bills? Okay, so moved by Senator San Augustine and seconded by Senator Torres. Are there any objections? Hearing no objections, motion carries. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referral of appointments? There's been a motion by Senator Nelson, seconded by Senator Torres. Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referrals of resolutions? Moved by Senator Torres, seconded by Senator Perez. Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries. We will now move to consideration of items eligible for placement on the session agenda. Members, the committee reports for the following items have been duly filed and met Committee on Rules committee report deadline on November 10th, 2022. All right, thank you very much, colleagues. You can see the list on our proposed agenda. So I'll now entertain the motions to add items for placement on the agenda. We are going to entertain bills at this time.
Are you going in order?
Or any order you want?
Okay, Senator San Augustine, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bill number 306-36, as amended by the Committee on General Government Operation and Appropriation Housing, introduced by myself. An act to amend Section 58104 and 58136 of Article 1 and to add a new Article 3 to Chapter 58 of Title 12, Guam Code annotated relative to the issuance of qualifying certificate of captive insurance companies who wholly underwrite insurance risks outside of Guam.
Okay, there's been a motion to add Bill number 306-36 COR as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities and the Arts, sponsored by Joe S. San Augustine, Tina Rose Muña Barnes, and Christopher M. Duenas and James C. Moylan. Is there a second? Been seconded by Senator Blas. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Bill number 306-36 COR as amended is added to the agenda. Senator San Augustine, you are still recognized.
Yes, we also have Bill 327-36 COR as amended by the Committee on General Government Operation, Appropriation, and Housing, introduced by myself. And yes, an act to add our new Article 13, Chapter 77, Division 2, Title 12, Guam Code annotated relative to allowing business on contributing to the design and construction of the Guam National Tennis Federation tennis facilities to be eligible for tax credit.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Blas. On the motion, is there any objection to add Bill 327-36 to the agenda? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator San Augustine, you are recognized.
To add Bill 332-36 LS as amended by the Committee on General Government Operation, Appropriation, and Housing, introduced by Senator Jim Moylan, co-sponsors Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Frank Blas Jr., and Senator Tony Ada. An act to add a new Article 13 to Chapter 77 of Title 12 Guam Code annotated relative to authorized tax credit for the rehabilitation and improvements of the football fields operated by the National Youth Football Federation.
Thank you. On the motion, is there a second? Been seconded by Senator Blas to add Bill number 332-36 LS as amended. Are there any objections? There's been an objection. All those in favor of adding Bill number 332-36 to the agenda, please signify by raising your hand. 332-36, an act to add a new Article 13 to Chapter 77 of Title 12 Guam Code Annotated relative to authorizing tax credits for the rehabilitation and improvements of the football fields operated by the Guam National Youth Football Federation, sponsored by James C. Moylan, Christopher M. Duenas, Frank Blas Jr., and V. Anthony Atta. All those in favor of adding to the agenda?
Oh, yeah. Add to the agenda, yeah. Was there an objection?
There was an objection, so we're taking the vote. Please signify by raising your hand. Motion fails. Senator Augustine, you're still recognized.
I only have potential, and then I'll address that bill also as a potential, so that in the event anyone wanted to introduce on the floor, then so be it.
Okay, we'll do that at the end of this portion.
All right,
We'll
thank
take
you.
bills to add to the agenda. Not potential yet. Okay. Senator Nelson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add bill number, just a minute, it's loading. There it is. I'd like to add bill number 298-36LS, which is an act to amend Section 4 Alpha of Public Laws 34-70 and 35-44 relative to the financing or refinancing improvements and capital improvements of the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Commercial Port and other related facilities and operations of the port through revenue bond proceeds.
Is there a second to add bill number 298-36, seconded by Senator Torres? Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Senator Nelson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to add bill number 254-36 COR, which is an act to add a new chapter to Division 2 of Title 17 Guam Code Annotated relative to defining the educational and professional requirements for certified school counselors and to authorize the compiler of laws to make changes.
Senator Nelson, this bill is not cleared as an item
It's not?
by the committee, so give us a moment.
Okay. 254-36. Yeah, we did, long time ago. It's not. Okay, we'll add that as a potential on session. Okay.
Okay.
I'll withdraw that and wait till we have the opportunity to add potential bills.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
That is nothing.
Okay, thank you very
That is all.
much. Bills to add to the agenda. Senator Blas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, on behalf of Senator James Moylan, I'd like to be able to move Bill number 315-36 COR as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power and Energy, Utilities, and the Arts, introduced by James C. Moylan, V. Anthony Atta, Tina Rose Mooney Barnes, and Sabina Flores Perez. An act to amend Section 58104A of Article 1, Chapter 58, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to incentivizing entities which promote clean transportation through vehicle electrification, electric charging infrastructure, and other mobility industries which reduce transportation emissions.
There's been a motion to add bill number 315-36 to the agenda. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Augustine. Are there any objections? There's been an objection. All those in favor of adding bill number 315-36 COR as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, Energy, and Utilities and the Arts, sponsored by James C. Moylan, V. Anthony Atta, Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Sabina Flores Perez, to the session agenda, please signify by raising your hand. Motion fails. Senator Blas, you are still recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to be able to move Bill number 208-36 COR, introduced by Senators Joanne Brown, myself, Frank Blas Jr., and Timothy Titlery, an act to repeal and reenact Section 6602 of Article 6, Chapter 76, Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, relative to restoring funding collected for building permit fees to the Guam Preservation Trust Fund.
There's been a motion to add Bill number 208-36.
Can we do remarks for this one?
Okay, we'll need a second to discuss. So is there someone who seconds the bill?
I think if, just a point of information, we did this part of the budget bill, and so we changed the whole statute in perpetuity, from my understanding.
Okay, that's
So
correct.
this bill is moot.
Confirmed by the budget chair. Would you like to continue?
No, I'll go, if that was the
Okay.
case, then I'll go ahead and withdraw that.
Okay, withdrawn by Senator Blas. Senator Blas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the last one I want to be able to move is Bill number 176-36LS, as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, introduced by myself. It's an act to amend subsection 19603A2 of Article 6, Chapter 19, Title 10, Guam Code annotated relative to vaccination and treatment during a state of a public health emergency.
There's been a motion to add Bill number 176-36LS as amended. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nelson. Are there any objections? There's been an objection. All those in favor of placing Bill number 176-36LS as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, introduced by Frank F. Blas Jr. to the session agenda, please signify by raising your hand. Motion fails. Thank you. Senator Blas, you're still recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I've got the potentials, but I'll wait until then.
Thank you very much. Anyone else to add bills to the agenda? Senator Torres, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to place Bill number 312-36 COR, 312-36 COR, which is an act to amend Section 40103, 40105 of Article 1, Chapter 40, Title 7, Guam Code annotated, relative to expanding necessary protections for victims of abuse to maintain the safety and basic needs of the victim or the minor child or children in common with the defendant.
Thank you. There's been a motion to place Bill 312-36 on the session agenda. Is there a second? It's been seconded by Senator Nelson. Are there any objections? Hearing none, Bill number 312-36 is placed on the agenda.
I additionally move to place Bill 313-36 COR as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture onto the agenda. This is relative to establishing protection orders for a person who is a victim or of non-consensual sexual contact or non-consensual sexual penetration.
Can you repeat that number, Senator Torres?
Bill number 313-36.
Thank you. There's been a motion to place Bill number 313-36 on the session agenda. It's been seconded by Senator Perez. Are there any objections? Hearing no objection, motion carries.
And the third bill I'd like to move for the session agenda is Bill number 314-36 COR, as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture, which is relative to establishing a stalking protection order for victims of stalking.
There's been a motion to place Bill number 314-36 on the session agenda. Is there a second? There's been a second by Senator Perez. Are there any objections? Hearing no objection, motion passes. Senator Torres, you're still recognized.
Thank you. I just have one item for the potentials list that I'll bring up at that time.
Okay, thank you very
Madam
much. Is there anyone else for bills to be placed on the session agenda?
One more.
Yes, Senator Snogson, you're recognized.
We have Bill 257-36LS, introduced by Senator Amanda Shelton, co-sponsored by myself, and Speaker Teresa Lai, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Senator Merrick Camacho Torres, and Senator Clint Rigel. An act to increase the cost of living payment for the Governor of Guam retired to appropriate $15,945,600 from the general fund to the Department of Administration for fiscal year 2023.
Thank you very much. There's been a motion to add Bill number 257-36. Is there a second?
Move it. Any objection? Is there a second or no? There's no
There's
second?
been a second. Is there an objection? Hearing none, motion passes. Anything?
219?
No, no, no.
Potential now?
Yeah, no.
So can we go to potential now? I think everybody's,
Anyone else have a bill? Okay, we'll now move to potential items to be placed on the agenda.
that's what I'm going to do, potential.
Okay. We'll take a moment's recess. Thank you very much. Senator San Augustine, you are recognized.
Yes, and to add Bill 219-36 LS as amended by the Committee on Public Accountability, Human Resource, Guam Buildup, Hagana Revitalization, Regional Affairs, Public Libraries, Telecommunication, and Technology. Introduced by Senator Amanda Sheldon, co-sponsored by Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Senator Telina Cruz Nelson, Senator Mary Camacho Torres, Senator Tello Tadwi, Senator Frank Blas Jr., Senator Joanne Brown, and Senator Tony Ada. An act to amend Section 41210A and B and to add a new 41210G, all of Article 2, Chapter 41, Title 17, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the certification of a severe disability as an impediment to employment for individuals with disabilities.
Thank you, Senator San Augustine. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Blas. Are there any objections? 219. Hearing none, motion passes. Now to add potential bills to the agenda, we'll take a list.
Ready?
Senator
Okay.
San Augustine, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have number one, Bill number 346-36 LS, introduced by Senator Jose Pito Chalai, co-sponsored by Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, myself, Senator Clint Rigel, Senator Telina Cruz Nelson, Senator Jim Moylan, Senator Frank Blas Jr., and Senator Tony Ada. An act to amend Section 8502 and 8503 of Article 5, Chapter 8, Title 4 of the Guam Code Annotated, relative to the Defined Benefit 1.75 retirement system. The bill number is Bill 346-36. It's being routed right now, so hopefully it'll be ready by then.
Thank you very much. It is noted. Bill number 346-36. Any other potential items?
I have another one. It's Bill 342-36, introduced by myself, co-sponsored by Senator Clint Rigel, Senator Mary Camacho Torres, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Senator Tony Ada, Senator Jose Pito Chalai, Senator Frank Blas Jr., as amended by the Committee on Air Transportation, Parks, Tourism, Higher Education, and the Advancement of Women, Youth, and Senior Citizens. An act to amend Section 1203F and 1203.1 of Article 2, Title 12 of the Guam Code Annotated, relative to the Antonio B. Wonpan International Airport Authority, Guam contracts for the use of airport facilities and properties. And it's being routed at this time.
Thank you. The bill number again?
Bill 342-36.
Thank you. Noted. Any other bills?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a hearing scheduled ready for November 30th, and I have confirmation of Dr. Robert S. Jack to serve as member of the Guam Ethics Commission for 4 years. I have bills number. I'll read them out. Bill number 363-36, introduced by Senator Frank Blas Jr., Senator, co-sponsored by Senator Tony Ada, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Speaker Therese Terlai, Senator Joanne Brown, Senator Tello Tadwi, Senator Mary Camacho Torres, Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Clint Rigel. An act to add Section 421 to Chapter 4 of Title 1 Guam Code Annotated relative to adopt the Guam World War II Memorial Flag as an official flag for Guam in honor of all Chamorros who died during or survived the enemy occupation of Guam during World War II, December 1941 to September 1945, and to authorize that it be flown alongside or right below the official flag of Guam from June 28 to August 10, and on December 8 of every year, and during any event that recognizes or honors a Guam World War II survivor. That's one bill.
Thank you very much. Noted, Senator San Augustine.
And I have also Bill number 348-36, introduced by Senator Tello Titaguis, co-sponsored by Senator Frank Blas Jr., Senator Clint Rigel, Senator Tony Ada, Senator Sabina Flores Perez, and Senator Brown. An act to add a new section 58128.7 to Article 1 of Chapter 58, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to mitigating the housing affordability crisis by authorizing a tax incentive for eligible business and entities that construct a minimum number of affordable housing units, and to creating the Affordable Housing Assistance Fund, and to require the deposit of affordable housing business privilege tax payments into the Affordable Housing Assistance Fund. And then I'll just continue on with all the bills.
Yes,
okay?
please.
Bill number 358-36 COR, introduced by myself, an act to authorize the extension of the Gas Tax Relief Act for another 180 calendar days, and to authorize Imagahagan Guam to spend up to $5,157 from any funding source and available to cover the financial impact of the Gas Tax Relief Act. 358? That's 358, yes. And then we got Bill 359, introduced by myself, an act to authorize the extension of the Programan Ajuda para Itautau Energy Credit Program for another 5 months, and to authorize Imagahagan Guam to spend up to $26,381 from any funding source available for Programan Ajuda para Itautau Energy Credit Program. We also have Bill 357-36, introduced by Speaker Therese Terlai, an act to appropriate $26,381,000 from the fiscal year 2022 unappropriated general fund revenues collected in excess of the adopted revenue levels enumerated in Public Law 36-54 as amended to the Guam Power Authority for a 5-month extension to the Programan Ajuda para Itautau Energy Credit Program, relative to providing customers with another $500 credit towards their account. And just to advise the listening audience, those bills, the last 3 bills I read out, will be heard at 2:00 p.m. on November 30th. The appointment and the other 2 bills will be heard at 9:00 on the same day, November 30th. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Senator San Augustine, noted. Potential items. Speaker Terlaki, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to put on the potential items list Bill number 334-36 COR, introduced by myself, Therese Terlahi. It's an act to add a new Article 3A to Chapter 1, Division 1 of Title 26, Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations, relative to the adoption of rules and regulations for child placement agencies. The committee report is pending COR approval and was submitted on November 15th.
Noted, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. And Bill number 356-36 COR, introduced by myself, Therese M. Terlahi. It's an act to amend a whole lot of sections. I'm going to skip that for now, but it's relative to relative to approving the adoption of comprehensive new rules and regulations for, never mind, let me read the whole title. It does more than that. So it amends many sections of Title 10 Guam Code Annotated and repeals existing Guam Allied Health Examiners rules and regulations pertaining to the practice of acupuncture, superseded by new rules relative to approving the adoption of comprehensive new rules and regulations for the Guam Board of Allied Health Examiners. This bill had a hearing last night, and the committee report is being finalized and will be submitted to CORE prior to the December session if it receives enough votes.
Thank you. Noted, Speaker.
Thank you. Bill number 112-36 COR is substituted by the committee. This bill is an act to add a new Chapter 10 to Division 1, Title 10, Guam Code Annotated, to add a new 42A101 I-20 to Chapter 42A of Division 3, Title 7, Guam Code Annotated, to amend 42A101J of Chapter 42A, Division 3, Title 7, Guam Code Annotated, and to repeal Chapter 10 of Division 1, Title 10, Guam Code Annotated, all relative to medical malpractice in the territory of Guam. So this bill was substituted, was posted on the legislature's website. The roundtable public hearing is scheduled for tonight, or, sorry, there's a hearing at 2 p.m. today and a hearing at 5 p.m. today, Tuesday, November 22nd.
Noted. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Bill number 261-36 as substituted and amended in the Committee of the Whole. This is an act to amend Section 26403 of Article 4 and repeal Article 5, both of Chapter 26, Title 11, Guam Code annotated, relative to eliminating the liquid fuel tax on all fuel except liquid fuel used for commercial aviation purposes. This is, I'm just putting this on the potential items. I think I will need to make a motion to reconsider the actions of the body when this comes up, because this was already considered.
Thank you very much. Noted, Speaker.
Bill number 357-36 COR. This is an act to appropriate $26,381,000 from fiscal year 2022 unappropriated general fund revenues collected in excess of the adopted revenue levels enumerated in Public Law 36-54 as amended to the Guam Power Authority for a 5-month extension to the Programan Atsuda Pari Tautauta Energy Credit Program relative to providing customers with another $500 credit towards their account. A public hearing was scheduled by the Committee on Appropriations for November 30th. And finally, Bill number 113-36 COR. This is a bill sponsored by James C. Moylan and Tina Rose Muña Barnes. I'm putting it on the potential items list. It's an act to add section 61541B4 and 61541C4 to sub-article 5 of Chapter 61, Title 21, Guam Code, annotated relative to establishing guidelines for off-premise signs on commercial and industrial zones. The committee is working on a substitute bill and compiling the committee report on this bill.
Thank you very much. Noted, Speaker.
So I have one appointment, that is the reappointment of Arlene P. Berdaly to serve as a member of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. The hearing is done, and I can't believe that that's been routed, but if it hasn't, it will be. So that's the Arlene P. Berdaly, Chamorro Land Trust Commission.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Senator Perez, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to place on the potential items list Bill number 350-36 LS, as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning. It's an act to amend Section 5112B and 5116A1 and add a new Section 5116E of Chapter 5, Title 16, Guam Code annotated, and to adopt and codify the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance fine schedule, attached hereto as Exhibit A in Chapter 13 of Title 30 Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations relative to ensuring compliance with federal mandates to the safe operations of commercial vehicles. Can you repeat the number? It's 350-36 LS. There was a public hearing last week, Wednesday, I believe, and we're going to be routing the committee report shortly. The next item of the potential list that I'd like to add is Bill number 355-36 COR, as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, Statistics, and Research and Planning. It's an act to amend Section 5007 of Chapter 5, Title 5, Guam Code annotated, relative to expanding the exemption to the policy against advance payments to the Guam Public Library. 355-36. So this also had a public hearing last week, Wednesday. The next item on the potential list that I would like to add is Bill number 360-36 COR, as introduced. It's an act to add new sections 51111A8 and A9 to Article 1, Chapter 51, Division 2, Title 10, Guam Code annotated, relative to protecting our air, water, land, and the health of our people from toxic exposure due to open burning and open detonation of hazardous waste, and prohibiting the importation and transshipment of hazardous waste into Guam. This one has a public hearing scheduled next week, Tuesday, at 1:30, November 29th.
Thank you. Noted.
360. And the next item on the potential list is Bill 361-36 COR. As introduced, it's an act to add a new Article 8 to Chapter 1, Title 22, Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations relative to adopting new source review rule requirements, or NSRR, for new and modified major sources in sulfur dioxide non-attainment areas transmitted by the Guam Environmental Protection Agency. And this also
Thank
has
you.
a public
Noted.
hearing as well as November 29th at 1:30 p.m. The next potential item is Bill number 362-36 COR is introduced. It's an act to add a new section 6225.2 of Article 2, Chapter 6, Title 4, Guam Code annotated relative to the administration of hazardous pay for the Guam Department of Revenue and Taxation, tax collection, and tax examination branches. This also has the hearing on November 29th, 9 a.m. And then the next item on the potential list is Bill 364-36. As introduced, it's an act to amend sections 12104 of Chapter 12, Title 22, amend sections 15105.1, 15110B, 15113E, all of Article 1, amend Section 15201 and 15204 of Article 2, amend 15301, 15310A, 15316C and F, all of Article 3, amend 15402A and 15405 of Article 4, amend 15502A and 15506 of Article 5, amend 15603B of Article 6, amend 15701 and 702C, and 15704B and C, 15704.2A and B, 15705D, 15705.1F, 15706A and D, and 15707, and add 15707F, G, and H to amend 15701, 707.1A and C. And so there's a series of sections, all of Article 8 of Chapter 15, Title 22, Guam annotated, relative to updating insurance terms.
Noted. Thank you.
So this is Bill 364-36. The next item on the potential list is Resolution 464-36 LS, introduced by Senator Clinton Rogel. It's relative to requesting that the Honorable Deb Haaland, Secretary of the Interior, honor the Department of Interior's responsibilities to Guam by directing the Offices of Insular Affairs and Environmental Policy and Compliance to review and assess the potential environmental impacts of the U.S. Marine Corps Base Camp Blas Live Fire Training Range Complex at Northwest Field and the Hand Grenade Range at Anderson South on northern Guamland's aquifer, and provide guidance to the Department of Navy prior to range operations that ensures the protection of Guam's water resources, and calling on the Committees on Armed Services of the United States Senate and House of Representatives to pause construction activities related to the training ranges and withhold all current future funding of the same until environmental impacts concerning the impending threat of contamination of the northern Guamland's aquifer and future threat of diminished freshwater resources in Guam are reassessed. So this had a public hearing Friday, November 18th, and we'll be routing the committee report shortly. Again, it's Resolution 464-36.
Thank you. Noted.
And then there's a couple appointments. So the first appointment is the nomination of Attorney John C. Terlahi as a Superior Court Judge of Guam. The hearing is scheduled for December 1st. And then two more appointments. Candy C. Oklahoma, nominee for the member of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. The hearing is scheduled for November 29th at 9 o'clock, I believe. And then the last nominee is Juan Carlo Pangilinan, a member of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, and we will be sending out notices regarding his hearing. So those conclude the potential items. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Any other potential items? Senator Torres and then Senator Nelson.
Thank you. On behalf of Vice Speaker Muña Barnes, I'd like to move as a potential item, or note for as a potential item, Bill number 354-36 COR, which is relative to the acquisition of library books, e-books, audiobooks, digital publications, newsletters, software, and any other publications, deemed necessary by the Guam Public Library System. Bill 354-36. And the second item I'd like to note as a potential item is Bill number 299-36LS, as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture. This is relative to requiring reasonable efforts to preserve and reunify families and to establishing circumstances negating requirement for such reasonable efforts, updating disposition hearing requirements, updating the timelines for the permanent placement of children, and terminating the parental rights of a parent who subjects a child to aggravated circumstances. Bill 299-36LS.
Thank you. Thank you, noted. Any other potential items? Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a potential item is Bill number 291-36LS, which is an act to add a new Chapter 91 Bravo to Division 4 of Title 10 of the Guam Code annotated relative to abortion, including abortions after detection of an unborn child's heartbeat, authorizing a private civil right of action. Just for the record, Madam Chair, there will be a substituted version introduced on session floor, removing the aiding and abetting portion. The next bill is Bill number 254-36 COR, which is an act to add a new chapter to Division 2 of Title 17 Guam Code annotated relative to defining the educational and professional requirements for certified school counselors and to authorize the compiler of laws to make changes. And that is all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, noted.
Oh, I'm sorry, and there's one more. There's some members that we'd like to confirm. The first one is Doyon A. Morato, a member, Board of Directors, AB Wanpat International Airport Authority Committee on Air Transportation, Parks, Tourism, Higher Education, and the Advancement of Women, Youth, and Senior Citizens. And the other member is Gina Y. Ramos, a member of Guam Board of Trustees, Guam Community College Committee on Air Transportation, Parks, Tourism, Higher Education, and the Advancement of Women, Youth, and Senior Citizens. And these will be heard by the time we go into session, so there's going to be a public hearing for their confirmation.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Everything is noted. Senator San Augustine, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On behalf of Senator Clint Ruggiero, Bill number 35, Bill 351-36 CR, an act to add a new Article 6 of Chapter 8 of Title 12 Guam Code annotated relative to creating a virtual power plant program, introduced by Senator Clint Ruggiero, myself, co-sponsored, Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Senator Jose Pito Terlay, Senator Amanda Shun, and Senator Sabina Flores Perez. Also potential is the appointment of Ernesto V. Espaldon Jr. to serve as member of the Guam Board, the Board of Directors of the Guam Economic Development Authority, and the appointment of Doreen Chrysostomou to serve as member of the Board of Directors of the Guam Economic Development Authority. All these items are being completed and filed. We file core.
Thank you very much, Senator San Augustine. Any other potential items? All right, thank you very much.
I just state for the record, there, for people watching, that so all the potential items, there was no motion on them. They were just added to the list. They will require clearance first by the Committee on Rules. So it's all pending committee reports and clearance by the Committee on Rules, and then a vote on the session floor to add those items to the agenda, and that vote will require 8. And so these items will all be placed on the list attached to the notice that we send out for the agenda, so that notice is given.
Yes, thank you very much, Speaker. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm only addressing this as a potential because it was voted down to be added, but I wanted to make sure that the opportunity exists for the body to decide. And that's Bill 332-36 LS as amended by the Committee on General Government Operation Appropriation and Housing, introduced by Senator Jim Moylan, co-sponsored by Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Frank Buss Jr. and Senator Tony Ada, an act to add Article 13 to Chapter 77 of Title 12 Guam Code annotated relative to authorizing a tax credit for the rehabilitation and improvement of the football fields operated by the Guam National Youth Football Federation. Thank you, Madam Chair, and I have nothing further.
Thank you very much, Senator San Augustine.
Move to approve the session agenda with these items added, and that a potential list be attached, and that they be added, these items be added to the session agenda with committee of the whole items added to the bottom, please.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? There has been a second. Senator Nelson, thank you very much. Any objection? Hearing none, motion carries. In accordance with the standing rules, the agenda will be published within the next 24 hours. Any extension of remarks?
None, Madam Chair, but motion to adjourn.
Before we do that, Speaker, could you announce the potential session date?
Yes, we're looking, because we've able to establish an agenda today, we can get that from the Committee on Rules, we can publish it, and we will announce session to begin December 2nd.
Thank you very much, Speaker. There's been a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Okay. Are you going to second it or not? And seconded by Senator Nelson. Hearing no objections, we are adjourned. The time now is 10:03 a.m. Thank you very much.